Good morning. Good morning. The vantage point from which I sit gives this vista of beautiful people. You are an awesome group, and thank you so much for taking time to share your day with us. You're really wonderful. We're so honored to be a part of this inaugural event at UMass, and thank you so much to our leader, Risa, and the planning committee and the steering committee. I am just honored to be here and to be with you, so thank you again. When I heard the provost speak of UMass establishing a beachhead in Springfield, it reminded me of what does a beachhead mean? It reminded me of a military term, taking the hill or boats on the shore. I thought about turf, I thought about ownership, and I thought about longevity. And we, for years, have wanted UMass to have a beachhead in Springfield. So thank you, UMass, for establishing your beachhead in Springfield. Which moves me to the next thought as we look at health, wellness, and the economy. There are always the issues about the social determinants, about where we are on the scale of moving towards wellness. But one of the things we sometimes forget about is the financial piece, the economic piece. Someone mentioned grants and the fact that oftentimes you're not given enough time or money to establish the outcomes that are expected of you. And I'm thinking as we look at the economic system that we're involved in, and as we see the finances move out of our community, you struggle with how do you continue? How do you keep on if there are no economic chains that bind us together? Some folks say it's the underground economy that makes a difference in each community, because as you look at the big businesses who can move quickly to go wherever they want, they take the jobs, they take the resources, etc., and you're left with whatever. So having a strong underground economy helps to sustain you over time. That also speaks to how do the people we want to be concerned about health maintain themselves. Health, to me, is that golden plateau. And the older I get, the more appreciation I have for good health, because it doesn't come easily. It doesn't come cheaply. And the folk that we are most concerned about have to be part of the solution of whatever it is we do. None of us are an island, and we can't live alone. We don't solve these problems alone. And assume that we give instructions to or make decisions for is part, in my mind, of the problem. We need to invest resources, information into the people that it best serves. How do we get change in a community? Governmental entities can do that, but the people can also do it. And to keep folk faithful to the commitments that they make, you need feet on the ground, boots on the ground, to remind folk that no, that's not what we said we wanted and what we wanted to work for. You need to be in a position to say powerfully what it is you need, what it is you expect, and then expect folk to go forward and do that. So information, in my mind, is key. Education is key. Informing folk of their rights and how to use those are key to the outcomes that we want in terms of personal health and public health. The other thing that I hear a lot about is personal will, the individual right. I'm of the opinion that the personal will is important in your local community and the United States, but also the environment in which you live is just as important. And as we know, most folk don't have the resources or the clout to change their environment easily. So to say and put the onus of personal will why you've always got this and you've always got that and your housing is not better is really not putting the onus where it needs to be. If you live in a dilapidated community, the sidewalks are broken, the street lights are out, it's going to be pretty impossible for you to do the kinds of things that we recommend in terms of physical fitness, in terms of getting your kids out of the house, in terms of not sitting on the couch, not snacking all the time. So there is a personal will involved, but there's also this environmental and this governmental participation to make the difference in our health outcomes. And I think we ought to think about that when we think about health. We need to think about that when we think about folk pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. You do need some straps in order to pull. So it's not just the personal will, and it's not always the person's fault that they're where they are. The environment, the structures in which they try to perform play a large part of that. So we need people to rise up, and the term I'm hearing this morning, to lift up those expectations that they have and be willing to put some people power behind those expectations, to work on the ground, whether you're changing food policies, whether you're changing ordinances about parks, about noise, about housing. All of those things need each of us committed to work toward and to make the difference up that ladder that I heard Ms. Navarro talk about. You need us to constantly be involved and to be your army of workers. I thank you.